Dear brothers, let me show you my journey and my method to go from a super agreeable nice guy to a super disagreeable man. And so, why is it good to be disagreeable? It is one of the best man character traits because it means that you can stand up for yourself. When you mean something, you say it. When you want to do something, you do that, and you don't give a fuck about anything else because when you have to do something, you do that thing. Don't mean it in a unlawful way. For example, that hey man, I want to like steal something and I steal it. No. If you have to do something, you do that. This is what I mean by that. Okay, so please don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say here. And so the number one thing that pretty much led me from being this nice guy, like always saying yes, always like complaining, whatever, always pleasing people and all that stuff, to be like someone who is pretty much integrated with his quite well integrated with his own dark side and my own aggression. I was doing things that I don't like doing. And so one of the best things is obviously physical exercise. It's like literally physical pain. So it's like I don't really want to run, but I'm running. And so at this point of my life, I'm averaging around like 10 to 15k every single day. I'm running the distance, and guess what? That is a freaking challenge, I would say, more than 80% of the times. It's just like a challenge. It's just like something that at some point, I just have this like, I don't want to fucking do this, man. Like, why do you have to do this again? This kind of a feeling. And so when you're going through this thing, you're just pretty much teaching your brain, you're just pretty much hardwiring your brain to eventually learn to love hard stuff, to love, confrontation, to love challenge, to love pain, to go through this thing and expect something greater on the other end. And so I cannot really say it, with better words. Unfortunately, I'm not a scientist and I don't really know too much science behind this. That obviously is. But the whole idea is that this one thing, this constant challenge, especially regarding to physical exercising, completely changed up my mindset, completely changed up everything. So let me tell you an example. I've been running super crazy since this April. I mean, I've been running in the last 2 years now. Like, I think like I can count on my two hands how many days did I, Perhaps I didn't skip like more than 5 days in the last 2 years when I was not running at least like 3 to 5 kilometers. But I've been running crazy since this April, which means that 3.5 to for like 4 months, something like this. It means crazy that 10k. I would say my average is anywhere between 10 to 12k per day, like every day. Like if you break down to days, like 10 to 12k. So I'm averaging between 70 and 100 kilometer weeks. I mean, every single fucking week. You can see my Strava stats. And I'm not telling this to brag to you, but I'm telling this to you because this is a freaking challenge. And so since I've been doing that, I just realized that other areas of my life also improved. So for example, when I'm in sales calls, and when I mean something, so it's like the guy is telling to me that, yeah, man, I'm making like 30k a year, and I really have to like think about this thing because I'm not sure that I can afford this service. Like, before this I would have been like, yeah, that's your thing. Now I'm just confronting that person because I know that he's bullshitting, he's just lying to himself. So it's like, hey man, like with all my due respect, doesn't it actually mean that because you're broke, this is exactly the time that you are supposed to be investing into yourself? Like, what do you think? Like, what would change if you don't do anything? Like, nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So, and it's not the thing. The point is that I'm just willing and able to confront with things that I really actually mean, and I have to say that it's on my heart, it's on my mouth. The other thing, I just went out yesterday, I just like felt like, I'm just so antisocial and I just wanted to socialize and most importantly, like approach girls. So therefore I can just, get into this game. If you don't know me, I'm very, very big with, game, approaching girls and, that's my thing. And so I went out there yesterday and my goal was to like approach 5 groups or 5 girls or whatever, right? And oh man, the very first one was like so hard. Like I was just like sitting there and I was just like, just exactly before, like just like before running, I was like, man, I don't really want to do this. Like I just, pick up my phone a little bit. I'm just like holding it in my hand. I'm like, fucking hell, man, like I don't really want to do this. And I'm just like, okay, shit, I have to jump. The same thing like with cold showers. So it's like, just before the call, just, I don't want to do this thing. I just don't want to do this thing. At the end of the day, I'm always doing that thing because I know that there is no way out. So if I went there to do that, I have to get that shit done. Otherwise, I will feel that I have something that I haven't done in my life. And so I just went there and I was like fucking around for like 20 minutes and I was like, okay, let's jump. I don't care. So I just went up to the first group. It went quite good. Next one, always the first one is the hardest. After that, I was just like, okay, next one. And by the end of the night, I would have been able to pull a girl. I approached like 5 sets. I would have been able to pull a girl, but I was like, like tomorrow I have to wake up, I have to work. It doesn't, it just doesn't work. I just didn't really want to do that. She was traveling, so I was like, whatever. So anyways, I was pretty much at, I was doing my thing, but I really wanted to say is that I had this mindset, hey, I have to do this, and how much uncomfortable this will be, I'll do that. It's like, this is it. And the same thing with sales calls, the same thing with, approaching girls, the same thing with, my relationships, even with my brother and with my, my mother, and even, with the girls that I'm dating. It's like, man, like, if I have to say something, I will say that thing. If you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. We have to talk about that thing because it fucking bothers me. So this is the thing. So it's like, you're just pushing through that thing that eventually stands between you and your quote-unquote better self. So this is the best way to eventually go from, Mr. Nice Guy to Mr., be someone who, has some balls and, is a man. Love.